Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? The Con Man, and I'm in your house. We here. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits, because, hey, we're with the shits. Now we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That's right. You already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And, guys, we've been giving you just that, giving you that work. I mean, we're giving you house parties. Monday, we gave you Donovan Dijak. Wednesday, we had the debuting Annie O'Neil coming to help me host in your house. And now, here we are. It is Friday, and it is time for the interview series that we've been giving you for the last couple of Fridays. And this week, we got a chance to sit down with OVW's Big Zoe. We talked about his career, his time in OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, and his time with the Legacy of Brutality, his relationship with Zaya and Shane Mercer, the Iron Demon. And it was really a great conversation. We talked a little bit about his work in mental health and the mental health cookbook that he has written. Just a really great guy and an absolute vibe. This was a great interview that myself and the voice Josh Joseph was able to give you guys out there in the household. So without further ado, we're going to take it back to June 29th at House of Heat Wrestling in Lafayette, Indiana, where we talked to OVW's Big Zoe. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alakan, the Concept House. Of course, this is the In Your House Wrestling Podcast. And, of course, I got my co-host here, the voice, Josh Joseph. We are here at Every Child Wins here in Lafayette, Indiana, where you're going to see some great talent, some of the best talent that you're going to see in the Midwest, to be quite honest. And we got a chance to get one of them sitting in with us right now. You've seen him on OVW. That is Big Zoe. Appreciate you taking some time to come on, bro.
I appreciate you. Got the concept and the voice. It's my pleasure to be here, man.
Yes, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to say what's up to me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for taking the time to come on the show, man. So you've been really out there working and grinding, and now you've had opportunities and found yourself pretty much to be a staple with OVW. I just want to ask, man, because I got a chance to do OVW. One time I worked as manager there. I was a manager for Sam Knight, and we just did a little one-off there, and it was a fun time. It was good. But what's your OVW journey been like? How's that been for you, man?
It's been, ups and downs, but overall, I got to say, that's my home. It's been a beautiful place. I've been a professional wrestler for the last 10 years consistently. 8 of those years was been with OVW, so that's a place that I call home. So actually, this is one of those rare appearances where you see me kind of, my buddy Shane Mercer's like, man, you got to get outside the bubble, bro. So I'm like, let me go out, see what's going on. So it seemed like a perfect opportunity to watch my brothers, Shane and Zaya, chop it up. So yeah, it's been a home. It's been a beautiful place. It's a place where constant growth, constant leveling up, and opportunity. They've been taking good care of me. So,
Hey, man, that is great to hear. So one question that myself and Voice always like to ask, shout out to my man Hype in the background producing this thing. We appreciate you, bro. One thing I always like to ask, where did this start out with you, bro, this pro wrestling? Of course, you're out here, you're a beast on OVW, but where did this start for you? Where did the journey start for you mentally with pro wrestling?
Honestly, as any self-respecting pro wrestler, it starts as a fan. Sitting in the crowd. Honestly, I say I've been a pro wrestler for 10 years, but I started wrestling 25 years ago, right? Like as a backyard wrestler, right? So any self-respecting and pro wrestler, kind of, that's how we got our start, right? In the backyard. So I'm a product of the Attitude Era. So like in middle school, coming home, flipping back and forth between WCW, WWF back then, and just kind of watching that and taking it all in. Like I used to watch Al Snow as I was a fan of his as a kid, and now all of a sudden he's my boss. So it's kind of it's like weird, like how life come full circle. So I think the entertainment aspect, like I love wrestling for what you're able to do. Like there's no other platform, there's no other avenue where you're able to like engage with the artist in the same way. I can go to a basketball game and I can cheer and holler. They're not going to play any different. I can go to a movie and yell at the silver screen. The movie's going to be the movie. I go to a wrestling match and I'm like, yo, chop him again, body slam him again, or you suck. Then the wrestler might turn back around like, no, you suck, or body slam again, you want to see this? Bam, like it's interactive. So it's Shakespeare. So being able to, like by trade, I'm a mental health therapist. So like the opportunity to be able to engage with people at an emotional level, like that's what pro wrestling is. It's a soap opera. It's being able to have people suspend disbelief for a couple of hours and to come and enjoy something. So being able to, if I'm low, feeling high, feeling excited, and if you're the bad guy, making them root for the good guy. If you're a good guy, making them believe in you. So giving them something to believe in. So that's why I love it. It's emotion, man.
No doubt, man. I like that answer. That's a really great answer, man. Voice, you got anything for Big Zo?
Yeah. So Big Zo, you mentioned Al Snow, you mentioned the Attitude Era. Was there any other people of that era that you really took influence or stuff from, and who might it be?
Absolutely. So I mean, honestly, my go-to is Kevin Nash, like the NWO. Like there wasn't, this is kind of weird. There wasn't a whole lot of black wrestlers, going up as a kid. And Kevin Nash isn't a black man, but the swag he had as a middle school kid, like just coming out and wearing FUBU, and like that energy is just like something you connect to. Because like even watching the black wrestlers, a lot of times there's very much typecast. You know what I mean? Like being the clowns or being the rappers or being the dancers. And I feel like the NWO was the closest thing to something that was real. And if you watch and follow anything from OVW from the last few years, you see me, my brother Zaya, you see Josh Ashcraft, Cashflow, all of our guys, Legacy of Brutality. Took a page out of NWO. We were never trying to copy it. It was something very different, but it was also definitely embodied that same energy. We wanted people to feel. So definitely anything from there. As far as big men that I study and follow, obviously like you got the Bam Bam Bigelows, you got the Vaders, the Rikishis, there's plenty of guys that, Mark Henry, of course, when I got an opportunity to meet him, he's like, oh, that's my twin baby cousin. I said, so that's dope. We got a picture together, but very much, and I've been referred to, like Nova's like, man, you're the Mark Henry of OVW now. I'm like, that's the biggest compliment for me, is being able to like look at some of these big guys and see their agility, their big moves and that kind of stuff, but also not being typecast in just the big, slow, brawling, burly, whatever, but also I can move. So being able to show people a different type of way. Look at her. See, she's still bullying me, man. She already big league me coming up photo time. She's like, my match is coming. I didn't go and see big league, man. They just bullying me. See how they do me? They don't even respect the size. See, that's what I get for flipping and being agile. They forget who I am. But I forget it's old time.
Yeah, man.
So you also said that you're going outside your comfort bubble, your OVW, and is there any promotions on your horizon that you're wanting to jump into?
Honestly, I'm a free agent. It's open game. So I mean, I know I'll be doing some stuff with XCF. That's Shane Mercer's fed. So being able to support the homie and just do other stuff there. But I'm just kind of open to opportunities. Right now I'm also getting my DSW as a doctorate in social work. So I stay super duper busy. So part of the comfort of OVW is because I live in Louisville and that comfort. So I'm probably not going to be like some of these guys that stay on the road 24/7, but if an opportunity arises and somebody's like, hey, we'd love to have Big Zo on the show, give me a little bit of notice, I'm happy to be down. So I'm open.
Oh, that's great insight. I would love to see you travel out and go to some different places, but I have a couple more questions for you, man. So you brought up Zaya, and like when I got a chance to go to OVW and go there, he took me to like his own personal like locker room, like that dungeon, like
our locker room.
Yeah, y'all's locker room. Yes. So like, and I was like, man, yes, and I felt honored being in the LOB locker room. Like I was like, man, because he came to me and said, hey, come over here, and I was like, this is big. Like for me, that was big. So like, I want to ask like your relationship with like LOB, but specifically like Zaya. What has that been like, and what does that relationship with him and even Shane Mercer mean to you?
Okay, so it means everything, honestly. So I'm gonna take it like 110%. A little over 10 years ago, when I started becoming a professional wrestler, getting back into it, it was because I was watching Shane Mercer and because I was watching Zaya back at a D1W show. I was in the crowd as a fan, and I remember being a backyard wrestler, and I'm just watching like, Man, I saw the Moonsault Battery for the first time where Shane grabs the dude, picks him up, climbs the second rope, does a backflip. And I said, that's insane, man. And that kind of piqued my interest to get back into wrestling. So it was from watching them and Isaiah that night, he had fought Sabu. So seeing the Moonsault Battery, watching somebody that, and actually there's some overlap with Isaiah and I, because we both kind of came from the same backyard fair. Like he's a couple years older, so he kind of had just left when I was coming in, kind of thing. So FBW, Future Professional Wrestling. So a lot of us kind of have those overlaps. So as far as how I became a professional wrestler, it's because I was inspired by watching them, to be completely honest with you. So the LOB locker room, and Isaiah and I, we rode up here, 3-hour ride, and we were just talking about how that's our sanctum. That was our safe place, especially during the pandemic, where like the whole world shut down. But LOB was the must-see TV on OVW, you know what I mean? But we have to have that locker room, because the honest answer is, like, we're also the older dudes in the locker room. So we have to have that safe place where we can be grown men, which is not a knock on anybody else in the locker room at that time, but sometimes the energy has to be a little bit different, and we just need a place where we can check each other, where we can cut up, where we can clown. Like, I have a very serious job, as I mentioned, like as far as my shoot, so being able to have a place where I can come around my boys and be, as Isaiah says, what do you say? He's like, here comes frat boy Zoe. So just be away from everybody and just kind of cut and let your hair down, cut loose. So it's a beautiful thing to have that camaraderie. Both of those guys are always big brother and me, even though I'm older than Shane, but as far as time in the business, big brother, like, yo, you need to do this, you need to do that, and like always giving me good advice. But we're always iron sharpening iron, and we also play video games together. We have crazy Monopoly battles and flip tables and crap. Like, we just, it's nuts, man. So just having that brotherhood, and also the LOB family, like, it's all been instrumental. Like, it's more than just the wrestling that you see on TV. That's really one of my outlets, one of my coping skills, one of my things that keep me sane is being able to do that, which is part of the reason why I am venturing a little bit outside of OVW. There's a lot of new guys coming in, and it's a beautiful time for growth and expansion, but they've seen a lot of Big Zo for the last 8 years, so it's time to give other people the opportunity, which means I need to take opportunities at other places, because if you don't ever leave, they don't have a chance to miss you. So there's that.
Hey, no, that's a lot of good points, man, and I really like what you were saying as far as your brotherhood with the LOB, with Isaiah, with Shane Mercer, and like, it's always great to hear stuff like that, because I hear a lot of people say that, oh, we don't really have that brotherhood, that vibe in the business anymore, and being around the business as long as I have been, I couldn't disagree more. I mean, I've met some lifelong friends through this business, and it's been great. I really want to touch on what you've been talking about. We always try to keep up with wrestling, but you've said a couple times about your work in mental health. I really respect that in a major way, and I would love to hear you kind of expand on it and talk a little bit more about your work.
Sure, yeah. So, of course, aside from being a professional wrestler, I'm a mental health therapist. I'm actually a supervisor for the government, the VA or whatever, working with people, working with veterans specifically. So being able to have that opportunity to pay it forward, to help people that have dealt with depression, dealing with anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, ADHD, all of the challenges that life throws at us, it's the biggest gift that I can have, to be able to connect with other people in that kind of level. So, that's what I do. I've wrote a book, so Cooking Up Counseling, A Recipe for Peace and Unsavory Times. It's actually on Amazon, so that's Kawan Dion's my shoot. That's me, that I wrote that book, like a 253-page or whatever book about mental health and how we can, and I use a lot of cooking and food metaphors and analogies to kind of break it down, to kind of demystify, destigmatize, and make it super duper simple and accessible, because it sounds like a lot of jargon. A lot of people are like, what is therapy? What is mental health? Why should I do it? And I break it down. I just use a lot of, like I said, a lot of food metaphors, because everybody eats. I know I eat.
I'll be eating,
that's what I'm saying. But everybody can understand cooking and that kind of stuff. So I chop it down in a very accessible kind of way, make it digestible. See what I did there?
I like that. I like that. No, I really I respect your work as a wrestler, and everything that you've done, and wiggling through those mazes, man, to be able to find your way to OVW and find the prominence that you've been able to find, but also just giving back with like your work in mental health, man. Like, personally, my mother, she was a therapist herself, and a therapist who also went through some mental health things. So on another level, like, I really appreciate what you do as a wrestler and what you do outside of wrestling. Respectable, commendable, man. So I really enjoyed taking some time and picking your brain, man. Voice, you got any last questions here? Any last thoughts here for Zoe?
Honestly, I just want to say, like Howse said, thank you for doing that. That's an awesome job to have, and I know it can be draining on you, but you have this escape, this playground, and so I really like that for you. And I think him and Paragon would get along, especially with that little insight right there. Oh yeah. So yeah, I would love to have you if you ever have a chance on a Monday night, 7 p.m. I do a Monday Night Raw review show with my co-host Grunmeister. We just break down 3 subjects on Raw. If you ever want to join us, the door's open, man. So thank you again for sitting down and letting me know more about you, man.
This is cool, man. I really appreciate it. I wasn't really looking forward to having an interview, so the fact that you guys pulled me aside, this has been a lot of fun, very insightful for me, and I hope that somebody's got something from this, and it's been my pleasure talking to y'all, so thank you so much for this time.
No, thank you for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's OVW's Big Zoe. Check out everything that he's doing here. Guys, you already know it's a vibe here in your house podcast. Check y'all out later.
In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Guys Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.